الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح. قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة. الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله.
قيموا صفوفكم واعتدلوا. Please make sure your lines are straight. الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. وأصحاب اليمين ما أصحاب اليمين في سدر مخضود وطلح منضود وظل ممدود وماء مسكوب وفاكهة كثيرة لا مقطوعة ولا ممنوعة وفرش مرفوعة. إنا أنشأناهن إنشاء فجعلناهن أبكارا عربا أترابا لأصحاب اليمين. ثلة من الأولين وثلة من الآخرين. وأصحاب الشمال ما أصحاب الشمال في سموم وحميم وظل من يحموم لا بارد ولا كريم. إنهم كانوا قبل ذلك مترفين وكانوا يصرون على الحنث العظيم وكانوا يقولون أئذا متنا وكنا ترابا وعظاما أئنا لمبعوثون أو آباؤنا الأولون. قل إن الأولين والآخرين لمجموعون إلى ميقات يوم معلوم. ثم إنكم أيها الضالون المكذبون. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر.
الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. لآكلون من شجر من زقوم فمالئون منها البطون فشاربون عليه من الحميم فشاربون شرب الهيم هذا نزلهم يوم الدين نحن خلقناكم فلولا تصدقون. الله سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله الله أكبر. الله الله أكبر. الله سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.
Inshallah, after the remaining sunnah, our weekly Tuesday tafsir will be continuing with Mufti Azim, inshallah. He'll be covering the second part from Surah Al-Waqiah. This will be the second session. We encourage all the brothers and sisters to stay back after they pray their sunnah and witr, inshallah. The program, as always, will be live streamed. You can check it out on our YouTube channel and send the link to those brothers and sisters who couldn't make it. Jazakullahu Khairun.
is this wrong? Huh? I'm just saying this is off like by 10, by almost 10 minutes. This is off by 10 minutes. That's weird. Why are you cutting it? Be mindful of those who are still praying. Kindly come close together. Please sit as close as possible. Before we begin, inshallah, is there anyone who has made intention to try to memorize the surah through this 5 weeks and began on that? If there's anyone here who has made intention to memorize the surah, as we said in the first session, over a period of 5 weeks, and we can, inshallah, also, if they want to, they can recite it as a source of inspiration for all of us. Alhamdulillah, in the previous surahs, like we did Surah Sajda many years ago, over a period of 3 weeks, was it, or 4 weeks, I don't remember. Alhamdulillah, people had memorized it. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, alhamdulillah wa kafa wa salatu wa salamu ala rasulillah, Allahumma salli wa sallim ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala ali Sayyidina Muhammad wa barik wa sallim. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wa hlul 'uqdatan min lisani yafqahu qawli. Subhanak la ilma lana illa ma 'allamtana, subhanak la ilma lana illa ma 'allamtana, subhanak la ilma lana illa ma 'allamtana, amma ba'd. Last week, which was the first session of Surah Al-Waqiah, we talked about how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned وَكُنْتُمْ أَزْوَاجًا ثَلَاثَةً. You will be grouped into 3 categories. The first category is, the highest category is muqarrabun, those who have been brought close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then the second one is ashabul yameen, the people on the right. And then the last is ashabul shimal, the people on the left, which is the people, Allah forbid and protect us, those who are going towards the hellfire. When it comes to muqarrabeen, those who are close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the ones who sacrifice their life all the time for the deen. As some ulama explain, muqarrabeen are those for who every moment was about akhirah. Every moment was about the pleasure of Allah. There was no time off. All the time, every single second, their focus is, how can I please Allah? How can I elevate the status? How can I preserve and protect the deen? How can I further the teachings of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam? Those are the ones who win the race, sabiqun. So those people, we've been told, ثُلَّةٌ مِّنْ الْأَوَّلِينَ وَقَلِيلٌ مِّنْ الْآخِرِينَ, but very few from the latter generations. The fact that this has been mentioned, we said there was 2 opinions, but the more famous opinion was that Awwaleen is referring to the time of the Sahaba and Rasulullah and the Sahaba, and Akhareen is anyone who comes after them. So there will be many from amongst the time of the Sahaba and the companions who will be receiving that status of being part of the Muqarrabeen block, those who are enjoying the highest stages of paradise. وَقَلِيلٌ مِّنْ الْآخَرِينَ, but very few from latter generations. So the fact that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala even mentions the qalil min al-akhirin, that there will be few from the latter generations, is to give you and I encouragement that there's still a chance to become part of that. Even if you're coming later in life, you're coming later in the world, you're going to be surrounded by fitna and whatnot, but if you work hard, you can inshallah gain that muqarrab status. And muqarrab status is for who? For people who 24/7 their focus is one, the pleasing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And ashabul yameen is the one who says, sometime for yourself, sometime for the deen. We say the middle life, the balanced life. So a little bit here in the deen, and then we still got to keep focus on our job. We still got to focus. If I give extra in the path of Allah, my time, my resources, then what's going to happen to my job? What's going to happen to my lifestyle? So they want to keep that specific lifestyle as is without affecting that. And the Prophet ﷺ, he told us very clearly, he said, "Man ahabba dunyahu adarra bi akhiratihi, wa man ahabba akhiratahu adarra bi dunyah, fa'athiru ma yabqa ala ma yafna." Or kama qala alayhi salatu wasalam, the one who loves his akhirah, he will have to take a hit in his dunya. And the one who loves his dunya, he will definitely take a hit in his akhirah. You can't eat the cake and have the cake. This whole aspect of the balancing act, it is, yes, you can balance it this side or that side, but you have to realize that if you want it heavy here, expect to be light over there. And if you wanted to have it heavy over there, the scales, then expect to be light over here. Allah Azza wa Jal talks about Aqaba in Surah Balad, the valley. To get to paradise, you have to go through a valley. Abu Darda radiallahu anhu, he used to live a very simple life. And his wife was saying that you're living so simple, such little means we have in our home. What is it? Why can't we save up a little bit? Why can't we spend a little bit on the home? Why can't we improve our little, light status of our in comfort life? And Abu Darda radiallahu anhu would respond to his wife in saying that ahead of us is a valley, Aqaba. And that valley you have to cross. It's not easy. It's long, it's difficult road to cross. And the lighter you are, the easier it will be to travel. Same system, you think about it. If you're going packing, you're going hiking, if you're an experienced hiker does not take 10 things, 20 things. An experienced Haji, for example, who's Hajj many times, he packs light. The one who's going Hajj first time is like he's going to India after 20 years, 2 suitcases, 70 pounds, possible, whatnot. See, what if I need this in Mina? What if I need that in Arafat? What if I need this? And then, khud ko bhi musibat, sab ko bhi musibat, right? He puts himself in trouble, puts in all the rest of the people also in difficulty. When you have a lot of luggage, it becomes difficult. If you have to carry your own things, how light it is. In Pakistan, they have this concept, in other parts of the world as well, Paidal Jamaat, right? The walking Jamaat, you may have heard. And that is, they literally traverse the country on foot. Now you ask those people who are going through the most difficult places, what are they carrying? If you have to carry from here to MSI, you have to walk, in Jamaat or tour or whatever the case may be. If someone is told, you pack up what you want from Dar es Salaam and go to MSI or Masjid Usman or whatever, the other masjids here, 3 miles, and pack whatever you want, but whatever you do, you got to carry on your own. You can't ask for help. You have to carry on your own. Imagine how we would be careful to pack as light as possible, and we think what we're going to put. This reminds me, I know, tangent, reminds me of a presentation or a exhibit rather, they did in the East Coast somewhere, Washington DC or something, that was regarding the lives of Syrian refugees. And what it was is, you go into this exhibit and you're going to a home, and you role play. Role play is that, whatever the case may be, ISIS is showing up to your door in 10 minutes, or the Syrian forces are coming in an hour, or bombers, US forces or some allied forces are coming and bomb the place, you got to leave. You have 30 minutes to pack. This is an actual walkthrough. So they give you a bag and they give you a house. And you say, think, what you going to put in this bag? Subhanallah. It was amazing listening to this, this report on this, the fact that how people, they don't know what they're doing, right? So they just end up putting everything, for example, just grab this, grab that. And then they actually suffer later on because now it becomes a burden. So now you have to choose. You want to pack light, but you have to pack the most important thing, like socks or shoes or slippers. Or do you choose a pillow? Or do you choose a blanket? Do you choose medication for your diabetes? Or do you choose your eyeglasses? You have very minimal, and there's going to be one boat. And on that boat, there's going to be 40 people trying to sit in a space of 10 people. So either you have to decide between yourself and your luggage. Eventually, literally, that's what happens. The way this exhibit works is it's like, I don't know how many hours long. As you move through this exhibit, you have to keep on throwing out things. Because that's what happens in real life. Where the truck driver will say, no, I'm not going to take it with all this luggage. Throw this stuff off. I have no space. Look at this, 100 other people sitting in the back of my truck. And then another driver says, no, I'm not going to take this. By the time you get to the seashore, you have a little dingy boat. Everyone's like, no, we don't want you. Get out of here. And you're like, no, it's my kids. At least take my kid. And then you're trying to get in yourself. Eventually, so this exhibit forces you to keep on taking things out. And every time you take something out, you think, what is it that I can do without? Subhanallah. Right? It's a really thought-provoking exhibit, and what is for us as an exhibit, for millions of people, it's real life. to choose between, like I said, a pillow or a blanket, a glasses or a pair of shoes. So the idea is you have to travel light. Let's take that over to akhirah. Akhirah, you have to travel light. In order to get there, the less things you have, the easier. And that's what Abu Darda radiallahu anhu told his wife. That yeah, I can also amass money, I can also have a lot of things, but I want to travel light. So that when I get there, I can be relaxed. SubhanAllah, may Allah give me and all of us the haqiqah and understanding of this. So muqarrabeen are those who are saying, I prefer my akhirah over my dunya. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, I repeat the hadith. What did he say? The one who loves his dunya, he will harm his akhirah. The one who loves his akhirah will harm his dunya. Then the last portion of this hadith. So give preference to that which is everlasting over that which shall perish. Meaning this is the logic. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam's appeal to your logic. You're smart, you're an intelligent person. Why would you give preference to something which has a shelf life of 5 minutes over something which has a shelf life over 5 years? For example. So this dunya is going to perish. Why should we give preference to this over that? So like I ended last time's talk as well. The idea is halal. Stay away from haram. Haram income, haram spending, haram, that is the problem. And israf, extravagance. A person leads a life of simplicity with halal, there's barakah in it. A person says, without interest, I can expand my business to such much. With interest, I can expand it 10 times. For what? I mean, how much can you eat? As one brother, I met him on my recent trip, he had done all the math. He told me, he said, $1 billion, how many dollars you have to spend per day? I don't know what he said. The amount he said, right? It will take, like, for example, 100,000 a month, or something like that. It will take 800 years to spend 100,000 a month or something. He was explaining to his children who always want things and things. He's like, how much you going to eat? How much you going to spend? What you going to do with $1 billion? Those who have $1 billion, they're not happy. They want the second and the third and the fourth and the fifth, and they keep on going. Those who are sitting on 100 billion also, they want more. That is the greed of a human being, and you'll never be happy where it is. So you have to stop somewhere. And the greed is something we need to come out of our life. So when a person says, with my halal income, alhamdulillah, I'm able to expand my business as much, mashallah. The business, Maulana Tariq Ibn Sa''s madrasa, I studied overseas in 2001. That madrasa was run by one businessman. And I got an opportunity to talk to him once. Very nice individual. He would sit in Maulana's bayans right in front. And he was a very, very, very wealthy person. And he would sit and he would cry like a baby in front of Hazrat Maulana's bayans, his Jummah bayans. Every talk he was sitting right in front. But everyone knew he was a Seth Sahib, big person. He built the entire madrasa himself. Entire madrasa, one man built it. And he bought a house right next to Maulana's home. And he told me himself, he said, I got 70 rooms in my home. These must be small rooms or whatever the case, because the house did not look, super gigantic from outside. It must be, it looked modest from outside. But he himself told me, he said, I got 70 rooms. And the purpose why I built something like that is so that I can host ulama with all their students. Anytime any scholar is coming with his murids, with his students, they are my host. For 3 days, 4 days, as much. You can have all the programs, bayans, everyone can sleep here, this, that. So one day, he was giving me a ride back to the madrasa from Masjid Aisha. So we were just talking. He took me to stop by in a factory. I was 16 years old, We went into his factory. He said, I make biscuits. He makes biscuits. He said, taste this biscuit. Tell me what you think of it. I'm exporting it to Indonesia or whatnot. I said, okay, this is mashallah nice. Then he told me, he said, alhamdulillah, I got 5 factories. And I export over here, from here to other parts of the country, other parts of the world. And he told me, alhamdulillah, I do not have a single penny of interest in any of my business. He said, now my other fellow businessmen, they're always telling me to expand. They're always telling me, look at our textile business, look at Fulan business. We got from 5 to we got 50 now. But of course you have to take bank loans, interest-bearing loans, and go like that. Look at how we're going forward. And I always tell them, I don't need that. 5 is more than enough I can handle. Alhamdulillah, how much I'm going to eat? Allah has given me so much. 5 is more than sufficient. With the conscious knowing, that alhamdulillah, I am not warring with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I'm not getting involved in any type of interest. But look at the barakah. There's many rich businessmen, much wealthier than him. But look at how Allah used his money. He's a simple person, sits right in front. And later on, I found out from people, subhanAllah, that he was not even literate at all. He could not read or write. Could not read and write. But Allah is using him to single-handedly run the entire madrasa. And then host ulama. And I'm sure many, many other things he must have been doing. That's what you call mal with barakah. And that Allah will use your wealth to do such things which, he doesn't need it, which you will end up cashing out tomorrow on the Day of Judgment. Which you will end up saying, subhanAllah, what a huge investment, what an amazing way that I invested in the dunya today, I'm reaping. Look at the people who invested 20 years ago. Maybe they invested in nothing. Some invested in a company that went bust. And some invested in, let's say, in Amazon. Whatever little they had, they scrapped it up and put it inside there. They just saw something in there. Today, those people, look where they are. Even though in the dunya, they're so ahead of the rest. Because they put in that whatever little they had in there, it ended up becoming so much. Imagine the remorse on akhirah, on the day of judgment, when it's not a dunya, when a person says, man, I had the money, but I invested in the wrong company. That went bust. Had I invested in the right place, where I would have been. So sabiqun are those who are continuously looking for opportunities to invest in the akhirah, their health, their wealth, their time and the energy. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, قَلِيلٌ مِنَ الْآخِرِينَ. There are few from the latter generations. So you and I need to at least aspire. Say inshallah, that we will try our best to become from as-sabiqun al-awwalun, to be from the top ones, right? Sabiqun group. And not to think that everyone else is around me is doing haram. Ye ek masla hai. Like, I got a question this week from someone who said, I'm going to start up a business, but everyone is telling me that we're in America, 21st century, without sood, without interest, and without liquor, without lottery, your business can't run. But inside me, I feel like that's wrong. But what should I say? That's what everyone around me is giving this mashwara. What do you have to say about this? I said, everyone around you, 25% of the born Muslims are leaving the fold of Islam. Everyone around you is doing this type of stuff. How far are you going to take this? You cannot be looking what other people do. The ones who Allah guides are few, far and few. Among you have to do what your heart is telling, which is right. Don't worry what the others are doing. Don't worry that you're going to fall behind your competitors. Right? These are not the people you compete with. Moving on, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala speaks about these people. Ala sururin mawduna. They will be sitting on sofas, okay, leisurely sitting. Mawduna means encrusted. Encrusted not with some sort of cloth or some sort of thread, but rather gold and gems. Muttaqina alayhim mutaqabilin, reclining on them, facing one another in joy. So we are social mammals, right? We love company. And that's what Jannah is about as well. A lot of socialization, a lot of enjoying each other's company, and talking about what happened in the dunya, how your akhirah, how your dunya was, and what are all those other things. Mutaqabilin, facing one another, right? Not shying away from one another. Dunya is such, they say, I've heard this, the richer you get, the lesser friends you get. The richer you become, the number of friends decrease. The number of people who want to leech off of you, a lot. The number of people who want to ask you for something, a lot. But the people who don't want anything besides your friendship, that number decreases. And then everyone else becomes hasid, jealous. Dunya, akhirah is such, there's no jealous. That's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَنَزَعْنَا مَا فِي صُدُورِهِم مِّنْ غِلٍّ إِخْوَانًا عَلَى سُرُرٍ مُتَقَابِلِينَ. We are going to snatch out and cleanse out all hiqd, malice and hatred from the hearts. Warna koi fayda nahi hai jannat mein. Did we speak about this last week? I don't remember. Huh? No. Okay. So, yeah, وَنَزَعْنَا مَا فِي صُدُورِهِم مِّنْ غِلٍّ. We cleanse our heart. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, we cleaning your hearts from all jealousy and malice and hatred. عَلَى سُرُرٍ مُتَقَابِلِينَ. Yeah, same word. Surur, you're going to be reclining on sofas facing one another. Why is that so key, important point? Because there is no enjoyment in your home, in your luxurious palace, if you're jealous of someone. Everything you have is zero if you're still looking at someone else with the eyes of envy. Everything you have is zero if you're still thinking about but him and but her. And that's what we see in dunya. So much is there, but people are still reading the competitors. How is their business doing? How is their every day? Wake up at 8 o'clock, let's look at what the competitor is doing, what their market is doing. Right? But alhamdulillah, be happy with what Allah has given you. So this is shaitan. He doesn't allow us to have peace with what Allah has given us. Continues making us look at what others. Jannah is such that not only you're not going to have hasad for anyone, no one will have hasad for you. Ye bhi musibat hai. People having hasad for us is also a big problem. You say, I'm a very clean-hearted person. But hasad is a big problem. That's why Allah Azza wa Jal says, قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ الْفَلَقِ مِنْ شَرِّ مَا خَلَقَ وَمِنْ شَرِّ غَاسِقٍ إِذَا وَقَبَ وَمِنْ شَرِّ النَّفَّاثَاتِ فِي الْعُقَدِ وَمِنْ شَرِّ حَاسِدٍ إِذَا حَسَدَ. He tells us to seek refuge from the magicians when they blow on the knots and they do their black magic. So we know black magic is bad stuff. Okay. Then right after that, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَمِنْ شَرِّ حَاسِدٍ إِذَا حَسَدٍ. And then also seek refuge in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from the jealous person when he does his jealousy. Like the witch, she sits down to do her, her business, her dirty business, blowing on the knots and doing all that stuff. Baithti hai karne ke liye. When she does that, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala uses similar. He says, وَمِنْ شَرِّ حَاسِدٍ. And when the jealous person sits down, he says, you know what? I'm going to look at this person today as he drives out of this place. I'm going to look at this person, he's walking away with his family. Hasad, and then I'm going to burn inside. It's like an amal he does. He doesn't realize what he's doing. He's actually sitting there doing an amal. Sitting there thinking about about someone and he's angry inside, he's got fire inside. This is similar like to a magician sitting down with all the spells, with all the liquids, with all the najasa, and sitting there and plotting to do something. Similarly, a jealous person when sits down and starts thinking about someone, athar waye. The effect is similar. The ulama say the effect is just one notch less, but the effect is there. When a person is jealous, the harm he can cause to someone is huge. One notch possibly less than the magician causing harm to someone through magic. That's why we have been taught to seek refuge in Allah Azza wa Jal from jealous people. It's a very horrible disease. Not only does it kill someone else, يعني themselves, النار الحسد تأكل الحسنات كما تأكل النار الحطب. The jealousy يأكل الحسنات will eat away the good deeds the way fire burns away through firewood. Jealous person, he burns his own good deeds away. But it's like, if I may use the word, a suicide bomber. He's killing himself, but he's also, not to say he's not going to harm others. So a jealous person, yes, he's ruining his akhirah. Yes, he's ruining good deeds. Yes, he's not allowed to get a nice, good night's sleep. But at the same time, unfortunately, this is the system of the dunya. He's also going to harm you. People say, but no, he's sitting over there in another country. How can he have, look at a bullet. The person can be sitting a half a mile away. Look at any harmful thing from another country. People, drones and whatnot. This is the world of asbab. This is the world of means. Harm can be committed from far off places. So jealousy also stirs up the shayateen. The shayateen get fuel from a jealous man or a jealous woman. Okay? The shayateen get fuel and they say, okay, now let's take this jealousy and run with this towards attacking someone. So we ask Allah Azza wa Jal to protect all of us, our families, our children, from hasad, from sihr, and from the person who puts his evil glance. May Allah protect us from the evil glance. Ameen. Right? So the Jannah, the one key beautiful aspect of it is in order to enjoy it, Allah Azza wa Jal will clean our hearts for one another. So if you want to have Jannah in this life, my dear brothers, and you want to prepare for the Jannah for tomorrow, let's clean our hearts. Let's seriously get over holding grudges for one another. There is no benefit. Many times, people, when I visit, for example, communities, continuously I'm learning. There's so much to learn. Every single day I learn, alhamdulillah. When you meet people, listen to people. One time they'll say, for example, like they have a habit. As soon as you come as a guest speaker, they'll meet you outside and say, this community, horrible. The imam, terrible. Bored, worse. Did I tell you once we were talking about the summer intensive? One brother came up to me after the talk. He said, MashaAllah, brother, how much is a plane? How much the ticket, this, that? He said, you know what? I said, well, yeah, I've given information. He said, okay, inshallah, I want the whole board of our masjid to be sent to you for your boot camp. Because they need to learn. Of course, right? He's just making a point. He's not going to do anything. But the idea, he was just so fed up. Because they're fighting in courts, lawsuits, and this and that. So a lot of times, I see these people always bashing on their local admin, local ulama, local imam, or this is not happening, that's not happening, the ummah's not doing this. And I try to tell them, this negative energy that you have, this anger, is not benefiting anything else. As soon as I start saying this, they want to leave. They want to end the conversation. So why don't you use this and do something productive? Use that. Why don't you sit down and educate your son, your daughter, come and learn the deen. Do something productive instead of continuously just being angry. This anger and frustration and a heartache is not good for your emotional or spiritual health. Imagine how much backbiting is going on. Imagine how much false accusation is going on. And at the same time thinking that I'm superior to the rest of these people. Ujub, self-conceit, loads of problems. So let's learn how to clean our hearts. We learn all of this from mutaqabilin. If you don't have clean hearts, you're not going to be facing one another. And that is what the Jannah is about, facing one another. يَطُوفُ عَلَيْهِمْ وِلْدَانٌ مُخَلَّدُونَ. Going around serving them are immortal youths. Mukhallad means two meanings. One from khulud, which means eternity. Mukhallad, they're in Jannah. Of course, they're going to remain forever there. They're going to be alive forever. That's there. Second meaning is mukhallad is encrusted or with jewelry and adorned with beautiful ornaments. But mukhallad does not just mean they're going to live there forever, because that's for everyone. It means they will remain young forever. So the ulama say that, first of all, why do you have young children, immortal youths walking around? Because those who have been blessed with children, may Allah bless all the married people with righteous, pious children. And those who are of marriageable age, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant them beautiful, righteous, good spouses. But children, those who have children know the ni'mah of a child. Maulana Ashraf Ali Thani rahmatullahi did not have any kids. Okay? So one day he told one of his murids, one of his students, bring one of your mashallah, you have a child, bring him to the to the majlis. Bring him to the majlis. So this was a top-notch murid probably, mashallah. His little kid was also a murid, a student. So he came, probably with his topi and kurta and everything, mashallah. He sat down with so much etiquette and adab. He sat down in front of Hazrat in the whole majlis. After the majlis was over, Hazrat, started playing with the kid. And then he said, "Bhai, what is this? I told you to bring a child so I can have some fun. I don't have children at home. I have a child running around, pulling my beard, pulling my turban, sitting in my lap, doing this, the funny things like that." Torah said, it gets rid of the monotony and you kind of cheer up. You brought a Sufi sheikh right here. This kid, this is not what I had asked you to bring a child for. I brought a child here to kind of create a little excitement. So mashallah, if you have grandchildren at your home, or if you have little children at home, mashallah, tabarak wa ta'ala, you know the excitement that comes with little kids. You don't know what they're going to say next. You don't know what they're going to do next. It's always, you got to be on your tippy toes, right? And they're cute, mashallah. That same thing, if a 15, 20-year-old does it, it's absolutely not cute. Right? You may say, "Get out of the house. Why you did breaking all the glass? Why'd you do this? Get out. What's going on over here? You go get a job and pay for this." But when a child does it, we said, "Oh, he's so cute. Even he harmed us. He made a big problem." We say, "Oh, he's so cute." So children, they have this beauty with them. They have this ability to bring excitement. They have an ability to energize the place. And so, mashallah, tabarak wa ta'ala, all the adults will be surrounded by children who are cute, who are beautiful, and will remain like that. Sometimes you see little cute kids, and then you see them after your own cousins or nephews. Man, he is no longer cute, right? You say, this kid is a pain now. So that's what you're talking about. These children will always be in that state of handsomeness, of cuteness, of funny, of just energetic. Never where you get tired and bored and say, "You know what, you're past that age." Subhanallah. Right? So this is that aspect of it. Now, who are these children? It could be a new makhluk. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will create a new makhluk, like hur, Allah will create. Or it could be that these are the awlad, these are the children of the people of the Muslims who passed away before becoming adults. And hence, they didn't do any specific good deeds that they could be rewarded for, nor did they do any sin that they could be punished for. Some have even stipulated that this could possibly mean the children of mushrikeen who died at a young age, meaning children, period. All children who died at a young age, before they reached bulugh and puberty, that Allah Azza wa Jal will make them khadims and servants in paradise. Mukhallad, talking about mukhallad, remaining forever, I wanted to share a hadith where it's mentioned that when the people of Jannah will enter Jannah, yunadi munadin, a caller will call out. This is the description of paradise. These are the house rules. And what are the house rules of paradise? One of the house rules is, إِنَّ لَكُمْ أَن تَصِحُّوا فَلَا تَمْرَضُوا أَبَدًا. You will always remain healthy, never become sick. Number 2 house rule, إِنَّ لَكُمْ أَن تَشِبُّوا فَلَا تَهْرَمُوا أَبَدًا. You will always remain young, never to become old. And number 3 house rule, so first is you will always healthy, never to become sick. Number 2, you will always remain young, never to become old. Number 3, إِنَّ لَكُمْ أَن تَنْعَمُوا فَلَا تَبْأَسُوا أَبَدًا. You will always remain happy and enjoying luxury, never to suffer any type of difficulty. Number 4, إِنَّ لَكُمْ أَن تَحْيَوْا فَلَا تَمُوتُوا أَبَدًا. Indeed, you will always remain alive and never to die again. Always healthy, always young, always enjoying, and always alive. MashaAllah, khalidina fi abada. That's what it means. People will remain in there forever. And then the last thing to top it all off is أُحِلُّ عَلَيْكُمْ رِضْوَانِي فَلَا أَسْخَطُ عَلَيْكُمْ بَعْدَهُ أَبَدًا. That from today I make my ridwan and my happiness, my pleasure, mandatory and for you, set for you. Hence I shall never ever become upset and angry at you again. And then Allah Himself, after speaking about Jannah and the rivers of Jannah and fulan, beautiful things of Jannah, He says, وَرِضْوَانٌ مِّنَ اللَّهِ أَكْبَرُ. And indeed, Allah's pleasure is the greatest blessing. Because if you have Allah's happiness, then every single thing you could possibly want will be yours. If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, dear brothers, I want you to think about the beauty around us, the beautiful scenery of our gardens and of our oceans, of our lush rainforest, and of the beautiful animals in the zoo, to the beautiful fish in the aquariums, and what lies beneath the surface of the sea. No one besides Allah Azza wa Jal knows. That Allah is giving to everyone, believers and disbelievers. That Allah actually gives the disbelievers sometimes, a lot of times, more in the dunya than He gives to the believers. So if the na'im, if the enjoyment of this dunya is so much for the disbelievers, imagine when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, okay, I'm going to try to impress you. Not try, I'm going to impress you. I want to show you how much I love you. I want to show you that that you are very dear to me. Imagine when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala goes out to show you that. What type of paradise is He going to prepare? So this we're going through the description of Jannah. This is just words, my dear brothers. We truly can never understand. That's what that's what the Quran says. فَلَا تَعْلَمُ نَفْسٌ مَا أُخْفِيَ لَهُم مِّن قُرَّةِ أَعْيُنٍ. No soul knows. Allah is making negation. No soul knows what has been prepared as a coolness of the eye, or as a source of as happiness for the eye. But you say, wait, the Quran is replete with descriptions of Jannah. Yeah. Well, that's all we can do to explain. Your worldly mind cannot comprehend more than this. The words aren't there. You can't even imagine. So we're just gonna give you some words for you to kind of start thinking. But the reality of this is فوق التخيل, more than what you can imagine. What is أعددت لعبادي الصالحين, as Hadith Qudsi mentions, I have prepared for my pious servants ما لا عين رأت, what no eye has seen, ولا أذن سمعت, no ear has ever heard, ولا خطر على قلب بشر, and no human being has ever thought about. Now remember, the human ear has heard Quran. Yet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this Hadith Qudsi is saying, I have prepared for the human being what no ear has ever heard. What does that mean? The Quran is haqq, of course it's the haqq. But the reality of this, we're not going to find out until we get there. I mean, the Sidratul Muntaha, Allah speaking about Sidratul Muntaha, the low tree we're going to cover today. Is it really a tree? Sidratul Muntaha that separates the entire, from Arsh and above that, and beneath that all 7 heavens and 7 earth. Okay? Jibreel alayhi salam said to Rasulullah in Mi'raj, if I'm to go 1 inch above it, all me and my 600 wings are going to get burnt to ashes. I can't go. Is that a low tree? It's just a normal tree. What it means, Allah Azza wa Jal knows what the reality of that is. Everything that is related to, the good way to understand this is the world of the mother's womb and the outside world. If someone were to go speak to this, because the baby does hear. They hear Quran, they hear music, they hear the mom's voice, and they recognize these things when they come into this world. If someone were to go speak to them, that listen, 1 inch away from you is a chair, 1 inch away, 2 inches from you is a cell phone, 3 inches away is from a laptop, and explain to them what these things are, the baby would never comprehend, would never believe that such thing can exist, that there could be huge trees and a huge sun and a moon. Although these things are what? Inches away. What separates it from that is just a few inches of skin, few inches of flesh of the mother's womb. Bas. But it's literally another entire world. What separates us from that is death. And as soon as we leave, as soon as death will come, once we enter that door, then we will see something which we can't even imagine. Inshallah, good. But also with that is also the bad. But what separates us between this and that is, like it says, the one who recites Ayatul Kursi after every salah, there's nothing between him and paradise except for death. It is just a matter of death. As soon as he dies, he will be able to see that. So this is what we're speaking about. As we cover the descriptions of Jannah, I want you and I all to remember the fact that the reality of it, only Allah Azza wa Jal knows. Right? To what depth? We can't do justice to that. Bi'akwabin. So these children are walking around with what? Bi'akwabin. They're walking around with chalices. Wa'abariq, and pitchers. So akwab, kub is a cup without a handle. Kub is a cup without a handle. And ibriq or abariq is a cup with a handle. Wakas is a glass or a cup that is filled with something in it. Kas is used when something is in it. Ibriq is used when there is no handle. Kub is used when there is a handle. So all sorts of different sizes, different pitchers, different glasses, and so forth for you to drink. Min ma'in. Ma'in, ain is a spring. Ma'in, a flowing spring. But this is not flowing spring of water only, but flowing spring of wine. When a person usually in this dunya drinks, problems happen. Why do first of all people drink? People love drinking. The Arabs love to drink. They have hundreds of words for wine. The pre-Islamic and prehistoric Arabia had hundreds of words for wine because that was part of their culture. They really, their life rotated around that. It's a social thing. It's an enjoyable thing for them, whatnot. But with this comes a lot of problems. For example, headaches. For example, most importantly, you get intoxicated, you lose your mind. You start saying crazy things. You start doing crazy things. All sorts of horrible crimes every single second in this world are caused by drinking. And then after that, a person vomits. And then on top of that, after everything is done, a person doesn't even feel good about what happened. But there is still, in the minds of the Arabs and the minds of the people addressing, the Quran is addressing, there is still some good benefit, there's still some good feelings that are attached to drinking. Maybe not over drinking, just wine. Like imagine if a person says, I would love to eat unlimited amount of chocolate cake without the fear of diabetes, without the fear of my blood sugar going up. Unlimited amounts. There's loads and loads of harm that comes with eating these sweets. But it's enjoyable, it's got a great taste. So now, that's what we're saying. Wine is great tasting, it's got a great enjoyment for you, but it's packed with horrible things. يَسْأَلُونَكَ عَنِ الْخَمْرِ وَالْمَيْسِرِ قُلْ فِيهِمَا إِثْمٌ كَبِيرٌ وَمَنَافِعُ لِلنَّاسِ. Allah says, they're asking about gambling and wine. Say that there's some benefit, but the problems and the sins from it that come about because of drinking are too many, too numerous, although there are benefits. So the Quran is saying, we're going to present to you that wine that you remember so fondly, and you have to just give up for the sake of Islam. We're going to give that to you, but it's going to be in its pure form. We thought none of that nonsense that you had in the dunya. No headaches, no vomiting, no speaking nonsense and trash, no horrible, hangovers that come with that. Cleaned. لا يصدعون عنها. They will neither suffer a headache, ولا ينزفون, nor intoxication. Another important point to remember is that people in this dunya, they drink. Many people are drinking today and in the past for the very purpose of not just enjoyment, but to numb their mind from their problems. Because they are so deep in problems, and they do not have the ability, the courage, or the know-how how to tackle those problems. So instead of tackling them, and instead of having faith in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and seeking help, unfortunately those poor souls, they drink themselves to death eventually. Very sad, very sad. And unfortunately, subhanallah, we see this happening in the Muslim community as well. And when we see about it, we visit such cases, it's very painful. Because everyone is suffering. And in the fact that someone who doesn't know Allah, he does that, okay, we understand, we need to get you introduced to Allah. But someone who knows Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and does that, it's very sad. The yaqeen in Allah azza wa jal being weak. Right? So Allah subhanahu that reason is not why people are going to be drinking in akhirah. The reason people are going to be drinking is pure enjoyment, not to numb themselves from any problems that they may have. Because there is no problems. وَفَاكِهَةٍ مِمَّا يَتَخَيَّرُونَ. Moreover, they shall have fruits of whatever kind they would select. So here we learn that there's going to be tons of fruits and that there's going to be variety. Not to say, oh, I like this and I don't like that. No, it's actually, mashallah, tabarak wa ta'ala, all of them are amazing. Let's choose one after the other to eat. I was blessed to visit, told you, learning a lot of experience in my trips. One place I went to, it was a farm area, and I asked that person, I said, I would love to visit a farm if it's around. It was after Fajr, we give the bayan, talk, everything's done. Next program is a few hours later. I said, is there any farms around you? He said, yeah, I'll take you to my farm. So we went to him with his farm in a suburban house. I said, brother, I wanted to see your farm. You brought me to the suburbs. He said, no, you come to my backyard. So we went to his backyard, mashallah, and it was like a sight to behold, right? A backyard like any other backyard, but no. Trees, plants of all sorts, huge, beautiful palm trees. And then more amazing with that was all the fruit trees he had. So this is in California. So I'm received by, as soon as you walk in, you see different types of raisins. The famous yellow California raisins, right? So yellow grapes that turn into raisins. And then green grapes. And then he started taking me to various vegetables. And then fruits. And I said, wait, what is that? Big, huge, amazing, round, mashallah, pomegranates, Roman. And I was like, is that a pomegranate? And he said, yes. And he said, wait. And he cut one. And then he cut another one. He cut it in half and presented it to me. He said, alhamdulillah, in my backyard, I have 8 different type of pomegranates. And I tasted both of them. Both of them, their texture is different, their taste is different, and their redness is also different. One is a little bit more than the other. And this was 2 out of 8. And I'm thinking, I was just thinking about all of this. I said, this is dunya. Then you go to his peppers. Then you go to a Chinese apple. And then you go see a Kabul cantaloupe from Kabul, that type of thing. And then you go see figs, subhanallah. And then teen. What teen was zaytun, right? So there's zaytun also there, there's teen also there. Figs, as well as olives, as well as eggplants, as well as different types of fruits. And I said, how many do you have in this little backyard of yours? He said, I've never counted. And I just started doing math. Okay, this and that. So definitely about 50 different types of fruits and vegetables that are continuously growing. Now what do you see in this? You see the qudra of Allah. One simple, same soil. Same irrigation by water that He does with His hose every day. But what the difference? The ripe, the bright red of one to the bright green of the other. There was a green. I said, this is a lime. He said, no, this is a super sweet orange, but it's green. It's called orange, but it's green. I said, what is this? He says, subhanAllah, these are the type of things. One soil is producing how many different textures, how many different colors. My brothers, this is not for you and I to just sit there and just eat and just say, mashallah, it was a nice meal. No, for you to reflect. For I to reflect, what's going on? Where's the qudra of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the power of Allah azza wa jal? And Surah Waqiah is going to speak about this. About the aspect of who is making these fruits grow? Is it you or me? Who is making these seeds germinate? Is it you or I? Right? Who is the ones that bring down the rain? Is it you or I? Allah challenges us and asks us to ponder, to think. So the fruits of this dunya, maybe some of you who don't go grocery shopping, at least go for grocery shopping to the fruit section with this. Go to Pete's, go to Valley. You'll see Pete's 12 different type of apples. Allah. We're sitting in Mina, or Arafat rather, on the day of Arafat, and we're eating Washington apples from America. Sometimes in other years we eat Chilean apples. Sitting there, what's going on? This is all to point to the qudra of Allah Azza wa Jal, that what should the fruit of Jannah maybe? وَلَحْمِ طَيْرٍ مِمَّا يَشْتَهُونَ. And the flesh of the fowl, the bird, مِمَّا يَشْتَهُونَ, from whatever sort they should desire. Imam Qurtubi, he mentions various ahadith under this section, various ahadith that talk about how a bird will come and flutter in front of the Jannati, will show off his feathers and will say, oh Jannati, I have been fed from such and such garden. I have drunk water and I've been given water from this pond underneath the arsh. I am like this, I am like this. Don't you want to try me out? It will seduce the Jannati. The bird will seduce the Jannati, showing off itself. The Jannah he's been eating for thousands of years. He looks at it, he says, okay, if you really insist. So a thought will come into his mind. Imam Qurtubi writes in his, quotes a hadith here. He says a thought will come across in his mind that let me just taste it. Immediately, Allah Azza wa Jalla will prepare this in the form of a dish. No cooking, although you like to cook over there, no, you're not allowed to cook. Everything prepared, ready, presented. And he will put it in his mouth, it will be presented, he will just chew it. And say, wow, how enjoyable. As soon as he finishes eating, spit out whatever bones they are. The bones come together and the bird flutters again and flies away. Now you say, okay, I've been eating so long. What happens when you eat so much? We overeat. Now you have to worry about digestion. You have to worry about Pepsodent and this and that, Bizzle and all sorts of medication. I got chest pain, I got heart ache and all sorts of stuff. Jannah, all you have to do, no bathroom, no istinja, no toilet, nothing. All a person will do will burp. Not the Taraweeh burp, right? The Taraweeh burp, the Muqtadis have to suffer, and if the Imam burps, you have to hear the sound on the mic. But that's right here, when the person burps, Allahu Akbar, comes in the riwayat that it will be like the fragrance of musk, right? Even the person will enjoy the burping. Someone else, if he smells it, says, what mashallah, what itar you put on? No, but that's just a burp. So that every single thing in my stomach is ready again for the next bird that tries to seduce me, to eat it, or the next fowl that comes, the next other thing that will come. So وَلَحْمِ طَيْرٍ مِمَّا يَشْتَهُونَ, whatever a person desires. وَحُورٌ عِينٌ, and wide-eyed beauties to wed. Hurun Ain has two things in here. One aspect of the dark portion, the black portion of the eye, the pupil is going to be super dark. And the white part of the eye is going to be super white. Complete contrast. And this was regarded amongst the Arabs something very beautiful. And that's what is being mentioned over here. كَأَمْثَالِ لُؤْلُؤِ الْمَكْنُونَ, who look as though they were well-preserved pearls. Pearl itself is gorgeous, it's beautiful, it's shiny, it's got its glitter, it's amazing. But imagine that pearl that's inside a protective, protective packaging, right? And that pearl that is never been touched, never been seen. That is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is speaking about, that this hur, Allah Azza wa Jalla has prepared for a jannati that no one has ever seen. جَزَاءً بِمَا كَانُوا يَعْمَلُونَ, all in reward from Allah for all the good that they used to do. So the good that you've done, you've deserved it. But remember, this is to entice us to do good deeds. Now people, brothers, they have very ajib understanding. They say, I want to do for Allah. I don't want to do for this. But Allah is not going to give you a hug. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't going to, you have to understand, how does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala show you His love? Is by giving you this. And then He will be telling you that I love you. And I have made you my ridwan and my happiness for you. Sometimes people say, I'm not interested in this. So the fact that this is in the Quran is telling us that this is something that a person should have raghbah for and desire for. Not of this dunya, but for the akhirah. And a person may say, people say, I don't feel like praying salah. Maza nahi aa raha. I'm not enjoying it. I'll pray, but I don't enjoy it. And some of our mashayikh, they would say, bhai, namaz maze ke liye nahi hai. Salah is not there for enjoyment. Instead, if you pray salah without enjoyment, your reward is more than the one who prays salah and gets enjoyment. Because you're going against your nafs and you're praying. So there are things you have to do. So you do it. If you enjoy it, fine. If you don't, that doesn't make a difference. You're doing it because a person has to do it. So similarly, a person needs to be, the focus should be that of course I want Allah's pleasure. There's no doubt about it. But Allah will show me His pleasure by this. Is this your maqsood? No, it isn't. It's to create an excitement to say, stop running after the adornments of the world. If you really like adornments of the world, don't spend all your resources and your effort onto that and deprive yourself from the adornments of the akhirah. لا يسمعون فيها لغوا ولا تأثيما. They shall not hear therein vile talk nor sinful speech. We never in this dunya, a person is having a great time in a party and then someone says a crude joke. Someone makes an indecent remark and that just ruins the party. That ruins the environment. You say, you know what, man, I need to leave. This is not my company. So akhirah, everything's happening. Hur is there, wine is there, wives are there, husbands are there, children are there, but make sure there will be no nonsense talk. Bekar baat nahi rahi, no useless talk. Wala ta'thima, no sinful speech. No one will insult anyone. No one will backbite anyone. No one will say something hurtful. Illa qilan salaman salama. But the only thing they will be saying is peace and more peace. Salaman salama. Who's going to be saying this peace? The people will be saying peace to each other. Salamu alaikum, salamu alaikum. Number two, malaika will be saying salam to them. Imagine angels, beautiful angels receiving us at every door. Right? Instead of seeing Siri and your Android, Google, whatever saying hi, bye, this robotic voices, you'll have angels receiving you saying salam at every door. And then lastly, salamun qawlan min Rabbir Rahim. The salam of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala Himself. The salam from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So my brothers and sisters, if we want to create a Jannati environment in our home, a Jannati environment in our office, Jannati environment in our madrasa, in our masjid, make salam common. That's how Jannat is going to be. Where everyone is going to be saying salam. We are very lacking in this aspect. Adults as well as children. Husband and wife, parents and kids, say salam. Don't say she's my wife, she should say salam to me. Or he's the one who's walking in, he's supposed to say salam to me. Or he's older or she's younger or whatnot. You just be the first one to be saying salam. To anyone and everyone. Create an environment of Jannat right here by saying salam. Because salam is going to be creating mahabba. The Prophet ﷺ said, لَن تَدْخُلُوا الْجَنَّةَ حَتَّى تُؤْمِنُوا. You will not enter Jannah until you become believers. وَلَن تُؤْمِنُوا حَتَّى تَحَابُّوا. And you will not become true believers until you love one another. أَوَلَا أَدُلُّكُمْ عَلَى شَيْءٍ إِذَا فَعَلْتُمُوهُ تَحَابَبْتُمْ. Shall I not tell you something that if you were to do it abundantly, you will begin to love one another? What is that? أَفْشُوا السَّلَامَ بَيْنَكُمْ. Make salam common amongst yourselves. You make salam common amongst yourselves, this will create mahabba. When mahabba is there, love will be there. Love will be there, your pathway to paradise. With harboring bags and suitcases of hatred, you're not getting anywhere. Leave it, because that's not how the people of the Jannah will enter. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the next one, we'll start inshallah next week. وَأَصْحَابُ الْيَمِينِ مَا أَصْحَابُ الْيَمِينِ is the second category. That's what sabiqun sabiqun. Today, so far we've been talking about just sabiqun sabiqun. Now we're speaking about Ashabul Yameen is inshallah from next week. The people who are on the right, and who have received their book in the right hand, and they are the second degree. Those who say, towards us, balance karenge, So they're not all out. They're not all out. They say, yeah, we're gonna do stuff, but we have to also take care of our dunya as well. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us from amongst the sabiqun. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow us to do the deeds that will make us deserving of Allah's mercy, whereby we become deserving of the beautiful paradise. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put the shawq and the raghba of Jannah in our hearts. Instead of the Jannah of this earth. And may Allah Azza wa Jal allow us to have conversations with ourselves, with our families, with our children about the paradise. And allow us to repeatedly ask Allah Azza wa Jal for Jannah on a daily basis. Do actions that make us worthy of Jannah. Subhanallah wa bihamdihi, subhanakallahumma wa bihamdik. Nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk. This Friday evening will be our monthly seminar. Brothers, I just want to quickly announce it because we didn't get a chance to announce it in previous times. It's called Evaluating Ethics, Revelation as the Objective Standard of Morality. So what is morally upright and not morally upright? LGBTQ issues, etc. How do we decide that? Well, let's talk about it from an usuli perspective. Inshallah, this Friday evening after Salatul Isha.